Classification of drug receptors. Classification of drug receptors. Now, there are various ways in which you can classify drug receptors. Okay, you can classify drug receptors based on location. You guys know what drug receptors are, right? So if you give a drug to a human being, how does a drug work? Of course, when the drug comes to a cell, it has to communicate with a unit of that cell which is outside the cell. Yeah, it could be outside the cell, it could be in the cytoplasm, it could be in the nucleus, but most receptors are basically outside the cell. So when the drug comes, it actually communicates with that receptor so that it can be able to go in. If the receptor doesn't give it permission for the drug to go in, then no function. So you can classify based on location, that's either found outside in the cytoplasm or in the nucleus. You can classify receptors based on signal transduction mechanism. You can classify receptors based on the drug type they respond to. Okay, then you can classify receptors based on molecular structure. So let's quickly move to it. So for drug receptors are specialized biological macromolecules. This is more of like introduction to it. So you should know that they interact with drugs so that what the pharmacological effect of that drug can be produced. Without them interacting to a drug, there's no shit, you know. So based on location, we have the cell surface. These ones are found outside the cell. So most of them, they bind what? Hydrophilic drugs, are water-loving drugs. Then we have intracellular receptors. Those ones are in the cytoplasm. I was explaining these things. So the ones in the cytoplasm, most of them, they bind to what? Lipophilic drugs, so that lipid-loving drugs. Okay. So based on signal transduction, we have the ligand-gated ion channels, direct ion flow. We have the G-coupled protein receptors. Okay. We have the enzyme-linked receptors. We have the intracellular receptors. You don't have to worry about all of this. Each of them will still break them down. We are now looking fully into the syllable. So based on ligand type, we have hormone receptors like the estrogen, cortisols. We have the neurotransmitter receptors that will respond to dopamine, serotonin, you know. Growth factor receptors. We have the cytokine receptors. Okay, this is a ligand receptor. So based on molecular structure now, we have the ionotropic receptors. All right, they have a fast response. We have the metabotropic receptors. This one, they respond very slow, but they act for a longer time. The ones having the fast response, just respond, then they stop. But this one is slow and steady. Okay, so basically that's what we got for the different types of drug receptors in the body. Okay.